Welcome to this special edition of Post Dancing Goddess and Dragon Kingdom Sabbath in the Sun. Yours truly, Adrian Hanna, Dragon androgynous pansexual founder of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, calling all willingly living to support the world peace mission. It is 3:20 in the afternoon in EST in Hawk Island, Montreal, and the sun is shining. It's 25 degrees. I'm gonna enjoy a cup of coffee. We're gonna do some meditation. And it's a special cup of coffee, yours truly. Thanks to my anonymous sister. Thanks to my anonymous sister. Thanks to my anonymous sister was able to add some honey, special honey. So we're gonna make this coffee extra sweet. We're gonna do a little bit of philosophizing, psychological theory, meditation, and discussion of my Trinity of Theories that I'm calling for the implementation locally, nationally, and internationally as part of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom's World Peace Mission, and of course the Global Dragon Union, the 21st Century International Workers Alliance, and also the Phoenix People's Party, the anti-war, anti-poverty, anti-racism, but that trinity of anti being pro-love and love is action. I gotta admit, I was a bit moody before I got into the sun. I was a bit moody, I was a bit worried, concerned, wasn't feeling 100%. Sometimes we gotta admit, have certain feelings, the negative when you feel low, and thank goodness God and my will and action, and I've survived depression, I've survived being suicidal and depressed. I am still financially struggling. I admit I'm broke, but my work is gold. I admit I'm broke, but my work is gold. I admit I'm broke, but my work is gold. Put in more philosophical, physical, spiritual, and artistic work than all the leaders of the free world, NATO, prime minister, presidents combined during COVID. Proud to say that Dragon Zero marched more than all the generals of NATO during COVID, with hours and hours of marching, often in steel toe boots. So put in more philosophical, physical, artistic, spiritual, and physical work than all the leaders of the free world combined during COVID, and march more than the generals of NATO during COVID as well, mostly in steel toe boots. So proud to say that yours truly, Adrian Hanna, Dragon, independent artist, independent activist, independent athlete, philosopher, geopolitical analyst and theorist, universal spiritual teaching student, because don't know it all, and of course philosopher, geopolitical analyst and theorist, independent psychological analyst and theorist, and independent sexual analyst and theorist, sometimes psychosexual analyst and theorist. Put in more philosophical, athletic, spiritual, and physical work than all the leaders of the free world combined, and march more than the generals of NATO combined during COVID. And I have to put some sunscreen because it's already getting hot. And we're gonna get shirtless in the sun. What is the world situation today? If I were to make a summary, I were to make a summary, I would definitely say that the situation today very much resembles the scenario which yours truly had created back in 2019. The scenario that I'm referring to, of course, is the scenario which yours truly had made, designed, and created, speculated, theorized out of my geopolitical analysis back in 2019 when yours truly, geopolitical analyst and theorist, had dissected and meditated upon and analyzed the geopolitical situation. Back in 2019 had come to the conclusion that we referring to the collective humanity, mankind as a whole, we are again on a path towards an international conflagration. And so created, made, and designed the General War Integrated Total Body Training System as being an independent fitness captain. I'm proud to have lost more than 77 pounds and was workout is perfect for COVID times, and it's a perfection. The system that I've created, a workout system, officially titled General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the 300 workout, that is a sublime perfection in terms of training the whole body and increasing general overall fitness and increasing general overall fitness. I've created it back in 2019, of course, to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario. So the two parts of my energies, my skills, my knowledge, my persona, one as an independent fitness captain and the other one as an independent geopolitical analyst and theorist, a great, super excellent geopolitical analyst and theorist. I admit that at some things I am mediocre, at some things I am average, at some things I'm so-so. When it comes to analyzing geopolitics and the trends based on historical antecedents and trends, and by analyzing the cultural influxes and the forces and the religious and spiritual and the financial and the economical and the historical of civilizations, of regions, of big superpowers and big states and conglomerates of states and alliances, I am good at analyzing geopolitics, and that's what I did back in 2019. And due to several factors, of course, I've come to the conclusion that we, North America, and one of my geopolitical theories, and which I believe is that myself being a North American Canadian from Hawk Island, Montreal, I am a LGBTQ global citizen, but I gotta act local, think global. I am a citizen of the world as well, but I am a North American and I am a Quebecer, and I am in Canada, North America, and Montrealer, Quebecer, Canadian, North American, world citizen, Rainbow Dragon. But nonetheless, analyzing the situation, I come to the conclusion that we humanity are again on a path towards another international conflagration. International conflagration meaning a global conflict. My specific scenario, of course, was and is, because it's ongoing, it hasn't finished, it's about to finish soon as I'm doing my workouts. I'll finish more than 269 sessions of the workout, and you can see hundreds of workout videos on my YouTube channel, Facebook, what have you. So I've analyzed the situation, the geopolitical situation, by putting together several events which had transpired in the geopolitical arena, namely the US-China trade war began by the Trump administration, the arrest of Meng Wanzhou, aka Cathy Meng, the chief financial officer of Huawei, by the RCMP, thus to honor an extradition treaty with the USA, consequently the arrest of the two Michael Spavor, Michael Kovrig, and of course situational real politics, continuing crises by the Islamic State terror group, and historical events such as Pearl Harbor. So back in October 2019, I've come to that conclusion that we're again on the path towards an international conflagration. And so made and created, designed the World War III scenario to go hand in hand with my workout because I was doing workout, I was working out, I'm still am working out. Flex a little bit, got some brain and some muscle, got some brain and some muscle, got some brain and some muscle. But I'm not perfect, far from it. I admit in my videos that I do have lusts, that I do have vices, that I do have issues, that I do not play it self-righteous, I do not play it self-righteous, I do not play it self-righteous. Matter of fact, yesterday and today during the Sabbath early this morning, I did watch some pornography, some adult movies. So CSIS, NSA, CIA, FSB, German well, the Stasi were gone after November 1989, but the Mossad don't hack me because I pleasured a bit, I fantasize, I watch some adult movies, so I'm not perfect. Leaders of the free world are good at having private jets and a suit and a tie. Tie and a suit will be too tight for my neck a little bit. It would have to always go like this. So perhaps a tie. Although I do own ties, but I'm secondhand, nice green one with a golden lion on it. Would have to be loosened up a bit. The world peace came out delicious. It's a bit, it's a bit creamy. It's a bit creamy. It's a bit on the creamy side, like more like a latte than coffee. I didn't make that strong, but I made it medium. I did put a lot of coffee. Usually I have it black, but since it's Sabbath has just ended and it's Sunday, I'm gonna rest today because yesterday I did a rare workout during the Sabbath. It was more than an hour and a half, and I woke up a bit moody this morning. I said, still didn't get my $1 donation via PayPal, no commission, struggling economically, financially, commercially, but I said, hey, my rent's paid. I late July, got food, can do, I can meditate and can work, which I'm doing now, working in the sun who now rises and now sets, and by that rising and setting, it's the motto of the dancing goddess army is all fruits, vegetables, and legumes are made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother sun. And that's a fact that our brothers and sisters, farmers, harvest for us to make, upgrade, or maintain civilization by those fruits, because everybody gotta eat, everybody gotta eat, everybody gotta eat. So if I were to make a summary of today's political worldwide situation, it would have to be, of course, that it resembles much of my scenario that predates COVID. Because when I've started the scenario and my workout, it go hand in hand. My first workout that I've performed was October 17, 2019. So it was about 3 months before COVID. Now, I had COVID 3 times, I believe. Last 2 weeks ago, I tested positive. I quarantined for 11 days, safe house, isolated for 11 days. I am triple vaccinated. Please, increase in hygiene in public, increase in hygiene in public. Please, increase in hygiene in public. Wash your hands, disinfect. Wash your hands, wash your hands with soap. And this is my open carry disinfectant. When you go in and out of a bank, of a school, of a grocery store, any public domain which is not your private domain, please increase in hygiene, because I've noticed a lot. I've been on my marches last week, this week, past weeks, and the other one when I started after my coming out of isolation. I've noticed a lot of my fellow citizens don't neglect to wash their hands, and it's available there. Please, there's these things we call germs, microbes, bacteria, microbes, germs, bacteria, microbes, bacteria, germs, microbes, micro level as the elements. And we have this thing called the micro level, at the microscopic level, or the nano level, at the millimeter, centimeter, small scale. Please increase in hygiene, wash your hands more often in public. Because right now, I'm in the private. I'm literally just a few steps away from my literally underground room of September. Literally underground room of symptom. Literally underground room of symptom. I could have stayed home. I felt moody. I said I gotta come in the sun a bit. I said maybe I shouldn't work out today because I worked out yesterday. A rare Sabbath workout. Usually during the Sabbath I do rest, dance, dance, dance during the Sabbath, but mostly rest. So I did a workout. So I said maybe not. Just give her a rest day because I worked out yesterday and Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and then Friday I went for a march, 2 hours, and Monday for a march. So I was pretty physically active all week and even yesterday. So I decided to come have this coffee, meditate and philosophize and psychoanalyze and theorize and speculate. We have feelings, we have emotions. There's this irrational world which exists, subconscious, which are sometimes we're not aware of, right? Like dreams. Probably was the dreams that were didn't make any sense, were all over the place, and probably coming from memories or repressed memories or in the subconscious or whatever. But whatever it is, so it sometimes has to be brought into the light and action has to be taken, right? Action. I could have stayed in bed, just felt sorry for myself, and I tried that and it doesn't work. I have to take action. What has worked for me, what is my medicine and my therapy, is working out, training, and exercising. Training, working out, exercising. Working out, training, and exercising. That is my number one medicine. Working out, training, exercising, and coupled with that, taking in the sun or in the sun. That's medicine and therapy, and even joy and mode of worship for me. Working out, training, exercising. For me, it always right. I feel moody yesterday. Also, I was. What am I gonna do? I felt a bit low, a bit not that. All I'm feeling got 100. So I said, well, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna put some NFL football. Complain about work on the Seabat, work on the Seabat, work on the Seabat. You know, he's not the only LGBTQ player in the league. There's one LGBTQ player like me and many others on each team of the patriarchal sports leagues, the NFL, National Football League, the NHL, National Hockey League, the NBA, National Basketball Association, and the MLB. There's one on each team that is LGBTQ. There's one on each team that's LGBTQ. There's one on each team that is LGBTQ. No doubt. I understand that money, 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 right? I lost money due to being LGBTQ. Continuance of economic, financial, commercial continuance or opportunity or offering due to being LGBTQ, right? It's not easy, right? For people to come out. It's a struggle. It's multi-million dollar contracts, right, that the athletes in the aforementioned patriarchal sports leagues have. The NFL, National Football League, NBA, National Basketball League, NBA, National Basketball League, NHL, National Hockey League, and NFL, National Football League, and the MLB. There's multi-million dollar contracts. I understand. What happened to Colin Nassib? He's gonna play. He's a great player. You tell me. What happened to Michael Sam? Tell me. And how many are there? There's one on each team guaranteed who's LGBTQ. There's one on each team guaranteed who's LGBTQ. And each team in the all the patriarchal sports league, the NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, everybody. There's one who's LGBTQ, no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. There's one on each team that I don't gamble and bet, but there's 1 out of 10. It's more than millennials. I think my generation, millennials, we've reached out of millennial population of North America. I have to specifically state of North America. I think it's about 6.5, something like that, or 5.6. There's either 5.6 or 6.5. So it's either the reverse 6.5 or 5.6, something like that. Between 5 and 7%, or out of closet, even maybe more even now than new statistics, last year's statistics, who are millennials, millennial, my generation, born between 1980 and 1996 or so. So if I were to summarize the situation today, the geopolitical situation today, I would have to say that it resembles my scenario because I've analyzed the trends globally. And I've seen the growing aggression, the concentration of economic, financial, commercial wealth, which has been growing since 1984. And my theory, of course, that since 1984, 1984, due to Ronald Reagan's re-election, that's I framed that there was, since 1984, for the past 3 decades or so, more than 3 decades, the democratic free world has grown into a globalized, capitalist, corporate, I say corporate, financialized, technocratic order. The corporate, financialized, technocratic order since 1940. Sort of free world in the West and a lot of part of the world has grown into a techno global corporate financialized technocratic order. Right? So the corporatism, the financialism, financialization, what's called financialization, and the technocrat with the rising of the internet has had, and need to address that. And I believe that my Trinity of Theories, at this point in time where humanity is our best for their implementation, my Trinity of Theories known as Citizen Integration Theory, CIT, Debt Refusion Theory, DRT, and Democratic Fusion Theory. These theories were written over many, many years in the past. I know, like the past 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Paradoxically, you're truly independent philosopher, geopolitical analyst, and theorist, artist, athlete, a world peace advocate. I am still. Paradoxically, even my scenario when I created it, I was in the trinity of Adrian Hanna Dragan, Adrian H. Dragonborn. I died during COVID. I said I am being reborn. There's nothing that I want to go back to pre-COVID. It's of no interest to me. I want to move forward physically, spiritually, mentally, and even in prosperity. I do believe in prosperity, prosperity, prosperity. I got lust. I want to, for a good wine, a good bottle of champagne, some good meal. I admit it. I like to eat good, drink good, some good strong liquor. Want to afford a good massage. Tom Brady, if you're playing it, NFL quarterbacks, Tom Brady, come give Dragan a massage. I'm gonna record it and we're gonna rate it. I'm gonna rate Brady's hand game on the massage. So I do admit I'm not perfect, but with all that, the lust that I have, admit vices and the issues, there's no way, no fucking way that I would have been that selfish. That selfish during COVID to have multi-million, millions of dollars in my bank account and not finance food security, toys during the holidays for the children's gifts, toys for the children during the crisis, to have to finance food security and children's gifts during the holidays. There's no way. So I do believe that my trinity of theories, citizen integration theory, debt fusion theory, democratic fusion theory, implemented in order to create the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions, International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragon Army, with the International Integrated Dance League, aka the Dancing Goddess Army, are best at this point in time, where we have to address the economic, financial, commercial inequalities, and of course my brothers and sisters, fellow citizens, channel, channel, and sublimate the aggression. And my philosophy, psychological, spiritual, physical philosophy, two key words that are complementary. Channeling and sublimating, meaning what? To take those energies, whether the aggression, and I have aggression within myself, especially when I rap. You know, I want me to start rapping, rap and rock. Let my man out on the block. Rap and rock, let my man out on the block. Kiss a car, LGBTQ proud, so kiss and hug and lips and freeze up in this licorice please, bitch. Up in the lips, freeze, one or two, three with a kiss, and a hiss and the bees, please, on the knees, hiss. For world peace, I rap for world peace. Hobby rap, hobby rap, hobby rapper. Write songs, I'm also an artist. Parallel to being a philosopher, a universal spiritual teaching student, because I don't know it all. I have questions. I do know Mother Nature is the greatest artist and scientist. The sun now rises and now sets. No prophet has dethroned the sun. No prophet has dethroned the sun. No prophet has dethroned the sun. The body is a temple for pleasure and purpose. This body is a temple for pleasure and purpose. This body is a temple for pleasure and purpose. And now I see a beautiful white one with black dots, butterfly. Two of them chasing each other, kissing, whatever, dancing, whatever they're doing. It's so beautiful, it's so divine. It's part of Mother Nature. Nature is divine, flora and the fauna. Civilization has also some divinity. Reaching harmony between civilization and nature is the mission of the dancing goddess on which I'm calling for all willing living to support. So my Trinity of Theories written in the past years, I have struggled, I've suffered, I've been depressed, been suicidal. Working out, training, exercising has contributed to my own healing because it takes action. Action is required. In parallel to as philosophical, as intellectual, as verbose, that can use fancy, sophisticated language from the obscure parts of the dictionary, which perhaps will only muddle and obscure things, perhaps be not necessary or perhaps even counterproductive. And if I do criticize some things, I will offer alternatives. Criticism, a lot of people are easy to criticize. What would you do in that situation? Constructive criticism, cooperative competition that's more cooperative for the greater good as well, right? For the greater good as well. Yes, we have growing inequality. Myself, the specific that applies to Canadians, millions, the majority. 2 weeks ago, the Bank of Canada, on the practical level, the Bank of Canada on the tangible, real, practical level, the Bank of Canada raised the interest prime lending rate by 100 basis points or 1%, the highest in more than 22 years. Since August 1998, the Bank of Canada has only raised it by 25 basis points, which is 0.25, 50 basis points, which is half a point, and 0.75. Never. It's been more than 22 years that it hasn't been raised by a full point. So I've noticed last week, automatically my debt, I'm paying interest, servicing the debt, the interest rate, my interest rate paid annually is the highest it has ever been now. And I'm already economically, financially, commercially struggling. Maybe by the time I'm done this coffee in the sun, the video, somebody will make a donation via PayPal or offer to buy the shorts, black shorts or red shirt or red hat or these green ones. I'm auctioning for these green ones. I'm auctioning. They were gifted from my sister. I'm gonna have to start at a high auction. I marched a lot in them, so they add value at 10,000. PayPal, pay my debt, all money that I make will finance economic that I will make, and I'm open for business. If somebody wants to commission, sponsor, finance on any given topic, or work out for your grandfather, work out for your girlfriend, for your boyfriend, for the LGBTQ community, work out for you. Say, Dragan, I commission you to do me a special workout. Or for a cause that has to be in accord with my universal revolutionary centrist values. I'm a universal revolutionary centrist. Revolutionary that I firmly believe, local, national, international, from the collective North American civilization to worldwide east, west, north, south, my Trinity of Theories best for their implementation. But of course, as a geopolitical analyst who created the theory that I believe that us North Americans, we are constituting an emergent civilization, a collective North American civilization. The word collective not to be confused with collectivism. Collective is an amalgamation of different parts that share a common denominator. That the North American civilization is a collective civilization. Canada, US, Mexico, and do include the islands, and paradoxically, in my theory, do include Cuba, which is a paradox since it has maintained its one-party communist, socialist, Marxist, Leninist one-party state. And even last year there were protests in July, so it's been a year. So many protests that haven't been in more than 30 years last year in Cuba. I think since 1989 or 91, so 3 decades. And still it has maintained its regime, the regime which is a Marxist, Leninist, communist, socialist state. Communist, socialist state. Paradoxically, I don't remember much about my youth, childhood, adolescence, early adulthood. Remember mostly the past 7 years, 8, 9, 10 years. Paradoxically, remember more about past lives. I'm living proof of neuroplasticity by action in parallel to acquired savage syndrome, living proof of neuroplasticity by action, coupled with acquired savage syndrome, living proof of a quote, neuroplasticity by action, coupled with acquired savage syndrome, those two. Again, action was required for my own healing, as it is now as I'm doing this philosophy. So analyzing the world situation, I will have to say that it's closely related to my scenario, and thus I'm even more inclined to even advocate for the implementation of my Trinity of Theories even more, even double it and triple it, and put it even more, calling even more for the implementation of my Trinity, calling even more for all willingly loving. Because my brothers and sisters have to have LOVE, and love is also action, as love is only for me, blah blah blah. I've been disillusioned with community organizations, city proposed written proposals, and never got back to you, never get back to you, closed doors, and in whatever social justice or whatever areas of the environment, environmental issues, a lot of issues which I wanted to address and to take action. I said, what do I have? Some power for this body. So I'm gonna work out. I keep writing, keep doing, keep working out, keep marching, keep marching, march. My willingly loving allies and armies, my main message is make love tonight. Make love tonight, make love tonight. Otherwise, what are we fighting to save for civilization for if somebody's not making love tonight? We get moody, upset. I also have, when I'm getting moody, get upset, get angry, and emotional, get triggered, low. But I've gotten out of depression. I'm no longer depressed. I'm not suicide. I want to experience different cuisine, want to experiment, do cooking, want to get a good massage. I want to get a good massage. I learned massage therapy during COVID and in past life. So to my willingly loving allies and armies, that's what I offer. Kisses got 718 trillions from the goddess. Sent one kiss to her sister below, and that kiss turned into 718 trillions of kisses. Kisses got kisses, hugs, dance, some brain and some muscle, some brain and some muscle, some brain and some muscle with that. I'm not perfect. Playing is self-righteous. Leaders of the free world, they have the piece of paper saying somebody else wrote for them to die. Change. Change has to come from also internally and then together. I've changed. During COVID, I say I died during COVID. Increase in hygiene in public, increase in hygiene in public, increase in hygiene in public. Unfortunately, did notice that a lot of corporations, politicians, they rush back to the pre-COVID like nothing happened. They are disconnected, man. Majority of people are in debt. Food prices are increasing skyrocket. Gas prices are record gas prices in the North American collective, the collective North American civilization. Abortion rights. And I'm speaking as I was born twice in the past life. I was in America, born in the USA twice in past lives. 156 years ago, Dawe, which is south of Hawk Island, Montreal, 718 miles south of Hawk Island, aka Montreal. 156 years ago, served in the US Army. I believe North American politics, Canadian, US Pacific, Dragan spanks Congress and Parliament best at this point in time. Whole weekend going to Congress. With right hand, I spanked the Republicans. Spanky, spanky. Daddy spanked my children. With right hand, I spanked the Republicans. With the left hand, spanked the Democrats. It's a universal revolutionary centrist right in the middle, right in the center. But with revolutionary ideas, creative ideas, theories implemented. My Trinity of Theories, citizen integration theory, debt fusion theory, democratic fusion theory. Trinity of Theories written over the past 10 years or so, 7, 8, 9, past 10 years when I began. As I've struggled, suffered, precarious work, struggling artist, struggling philosopher, economically, financially, commercially, still in a crisis. And nonetheless, with all that chronic illness, struggled and made the libraries of the city of Hawk Island, Montreal my second home, and the tens of thousands of books, my friends, and wrote tens of thousands of pages of philosophy, poetry, theory, art, songs, ideas of the creative nature, or theoretical geopolitical analysis on by hand, books, or even children's books I'm writing now, on USB keys, my underground room, office, and temple. Also serves to that trinity as a room, office, and temple serves as a gymnasium. Serves as a gymnasium. Serves as a gymnasium. I I can be intense. I have intensity. I have intensity. Make love. Life is short. If this is my last video, what am I gonna say? Maybe I should rap. I want to say I owe nobody nothing, nada zero zilch. I owe nobody nothing, nada zero zilch. I owe nobody nothing, nada zero zilch. Personally, to the RBC, Royal Bank of Canada, I do owe them $10,000. The government of Quebec is asking me for $2,200 back. My own personal finances, financing, finance. Sure, I admit that. That's kind of, it's a debt, you know. Besides that, though, nobody nothing. I do want, and I am for the greater good. I am for the greater good. I am for the greater good. I want something more joy for myself. I do want some pleasure. I do want some pleasure. Hug. I love hugging. I love kissing. I love massaging. I love washing. You're gonna hold that against me? Fuck out of here, man. Freedom is a double-edged sword. Freedom. I think that's new in this one. Freedom. Tattooed there. F-R-E-D-O-M. 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 I admit it. My tiny hands, tiny feet, tiny little androgynous clit scar, clitoris dick. I got androgynous 8100 Dragan. Tiny hands, tiny feet, tiny little androgynous scar, clit dick. That's okay, I kiss good. I got a lot of kisses. Freedom is a double-edged sword. It's too heavy to lift by my solo. Too heavy to lift by myself. Perhaps if my sister helps. My sister helps. My sister helps. Second thought, she can lift it by herself. Freedom gotta be ensured. Freedom gotta be secure. That's why I'm calling the Dragon Army. The one and only mission will be securing freedom. Ensuring freedom by how? Securing food, housing, and transport for those three essential elements of civilization: food, housing, and transport. Housing, food, and transport. Food, housing, and transport. After securing those three essential elements of civilization: food, housing, and transport, we can work on the fourth dimension: services. The Dragon Army for Security and Service, officially international citizen integrated social security and service force. Securing food, housing, and transport by public-private partnership and implementing my Trinity of Theory, known as citizen integration theory, debt fusion theory, and democratic fusion theory. Secure food, housing, and transport by Dragon Army to be integrated with all existing public and private institutions and organizations. Complementary in a covenant cooperative way with the Dancing Goddess Army, officially the International Integrated Dance League. Integrated that it will be an all gender, all ages, all sexual orientation inclusive dance league. All gender, all sexual orientation inclusive dance league. Inclusive dance league. Alright? And cooperative more. Sure, we have professional dancers, professional dancing, but overall, generally, to be an inclusive dancing. That's inclusive, integrated dancing, international integrated dancing. For pleasure and purpose, for the environment, environmental education, about recycling, compost, and not just education, but active engagement of people to do better for the environment. I can do better. I compost and recycle every week. And I worked in the compost by contract, so I do have some experience and knowledge of the composting processes and methods that are best applied. But I can always learn more, such as in everything of life I can learn more. That's why citizen integration theory, the Dragon Army, to encourage citizens to go see how, for example, here in Quebec, the dams operate. We have like 63 dams here that power all the electricity, all the energy. This electricity that I'm using to make this video is clean, renewable, zero emission. It's hydropower, the waters of the rivers. But they were built by brains and muscle. They were built by brains and muscle. They were built by brains and muscle. Since 19, well, it predates 1963, but I put 1963. 1963 is the year of the how it's structured legally, bureaucratically, the framework of the legalistic, bureaucratic modern Hydro-Quebec, but it predates that by about 3 decades, in the 20s and 30s, right? So all that put into perspective, action is required, right? My own healing action has been required, and I've had period of stagnations, of writer's block, and XYZ, stagnation this, stagnation that, stagnation what, stagnation this, stagnation what. lots of stagnation. Healing myself, you, us, collectively as society, ensuring and securing freedom. Freedom and has to be not only secured and ensured, but defined also. Because, like I said, if I choose, I could have chosen to stay in my underground room off some temple, get naked, put the Cashy 6 9 Madonna or Kanye West music, and start dancing naked if I wanted. I could have even put it on OnlyFans if I would have had, but I didn't even get a $1 donation on PayPal on my work on YouTube, Facebook, and so I'm gonna put it on the. I ain't got no OnlyFans, but I did say OnlyFans. If somebody wants to sponsor, the price is 1 million for 1 hour of dance naked. But the androgynous clit dick twerking, androgynous clit dick twerking, androgynous clit dick twerking. $1 to pay my debt off, 10,000 to the RBC, 2,200 to the government of Quebec, and sponsor my sister, finance the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom. It's tough. It's right when we've been disillusioned. It's rock bottom, depressed, suicidal. It's not easy to admit, and to also take action. Change has come with pain, blood, sweat, and tears for me, as I always say. The motto of the Dragon Army is nobody is born a dragon, and that embodies a philosophy. I said, not even me. I don't remember much about early childhood, adolescent, young adulthood. I remember mostly 7, 8, 9, 10 years, mostly. I put a lot of philosophical work. I wrote tens of thousands of pages of philosophy, theory, art, and I'm sharing in a compendium, in my videos, in my lectures, in my discourses, with a little bit of rainbow shades of my own little rap, rock, and art and dance, and spitting a little bit of that Scorpio love. Looking these big trees that are three times my size. I say, I don't want to give myself too much importance, Looking at the sun and meditating that the sun now rises and now sets, and at this moment in time, the sun illuminates all of Canada, coast to coast. What time is it? 4:07 p.m. That means on the west coast, we gotta subtract 3 hours because time zones, right? So British Columbia, Vancouver, Washington State, Seattle, California, San Francisco, LA. Subtract 3 hours, so it's 1:07 during the afternoon. So they have more than 7 hours of sunlight now until sunset. Us, we got a few more, 4 hours and something minutes, 4 hours and a half. So much light and life and light is being shed by the sun now on coast to coast Canada, coast to coast USA, Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Panama, Costa Rica, all the way to Colombia, Venezuela, Bolivia, the Suriname, Dutch Suriname, French Guyana, Chile, Peru, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Brazil. So all of North America, all of Central America, all of Latin America, South America, and the islands. Sun is illuminating, shedding all that light. Life has so much space, so many peoples across the collective North American civilization and Central America and South America. The sun illuminates the collective North American civilization, the North American civilization of collective at this point in time, Canada, US, Mexico, and the islands. The collective North American civilization, which is my theory, that's an emergent civilization which has fused in its beginnings, its origins in the Second World War, and it's a response to the Western civilization, the nation states, and the countries within Western civilization warring each other, namely, of course, Germany, Nazi Germany. Some say Germans were at war with everybody. Across all this collective North American civilization, the sun is shining. So I'm a piece of dust, face of the sun. I want to give myself too much self-importance. As much as I want to nullify my ego and seem totally humble, well, sometimes I'm not totally humble. Sometimes I got the lower aspects of self. I try to be in the middle, one foot in the higher, one foot in the lower, most in the middle. But it's hard to admit, hard to admit these things. Somebody wrote me online and said, please, if you can engage in dialogue, and it's nothing personal. Most of the time, my official volunteer representative responds for me. Most of the time, Ratsiel Ayel work. My official volunteer representative Ratsiel Ayel work responds for me. Most of the time, my official volunteer representative Ratsiel Ayel work responds for me online. It's my good friend, an old friend from many years in the library, my best friend of many, many, many years. So, but I get no economic, financial, commercial support from my official volunteer representative and best friend at CLIO work until now. Maybe he's a pauper. He's a pauper. Maybe he's a pauper, but he has some. I don't know. He's gonna do anonymous sponsorship. Anyways, the lower parts of our psychology, the envy, the resentment, the jealousies, hard to process. Being toxic. Well, I'm sure that I've been toxic to some people, that I have toxicity myself, and sometimes I'm more in the toxic mode, more toxic, more irritable. And when you have added pressures, economic, financial, commercial pressures, sure, there's double added to that. Working out, training, exercising has been, is, and will be medicine and therapy for yours too. I have been, am, and will call for the mass financing thereof. My brothers and sisters, to work out, to train, and to exercise. Patriarchal sports leagues, NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB, and governments and corporations, multi-millionaires, multi-billionaires. 1 billion is 1,000 million. Plans the Dragan Army mass finance people to work out, to train, to exercise. Plans people to work out, to train, and to exercise. Mass financing, encouraging, incentivizing. Let's use all the high technology, stingray. We're gonna track people to give them an incentive for marching or walking an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours in the city or XYZ to incentivize them for the health, for the health, for the health. We need creative ideas put into practice. Action is required for maintenance, for building, for maintenance, and for upgrading. Hopefully, we're gonna upgrade civilization. Now, in a parallel life, science, innovation, and technology is my chosen path, where satellites, microchips, supercomputers, ICBM rockets is my chosen path, profession, and career, and that's everything I know in that parallel life. In this life, philosophy, art, theory, psychological analysis and theory, sexual analysis and theory, the spiritual, the esoteric, the occult, the geopolitical. some financial, some economic, cultural, civilizational in this life now here. As a philosopher, athlete, activist, artist, universal spiritual teaching student, because I'm also learning. Flora and the fauna are divine, nature is divine. Our humanity, our bodies are temples for pleasure and purpose. How do we invest in the body? Workout, train, exercise, hygiene, hygiene, hygiene. That's how we invest in the body. Clean your room, millennials. Clean your room, millennials. Clean your room, millennials. Private public balancing, right? Because when I step outside, if I step outside in the street or go shopping, go marching, there's an added dimension added into me. That is the public dimension. My home, room, offices, I am just private. I can stay private. I said dance naked on Tekashi 6ix9ine music, Madonna music, or Kanye West music if I want. If I even want, I could share it on, put it, record it, and put it. I'm free to do that as well. OnlyFans. Call it Dance Naked is 1 million. Right? Call it Dance Naked is 1 million. Dance Naked for 1 million. Economic, financial, commercial questions. I believe at this point in time, at least for the collective North American civilization, for the North American civilizational collective, debt refusion theory is what's needed. ASAP. As analyzing the situation today, it resembles my scenario that I've created back in 2019. Geopolitical analysis and theorizing. And if you're going to engage, because I do dialogue on that online, if you're going to engage, please, constructive criticism, parallel, love you, Dragan, love me hard, I love you triple. Love me hard, I love you triple. Love you hard, I love you triple. Love me strong, I love you triple. Or soft. Or in between, rainbow, whatever. Could go a little bit BDSM switch. Do it with Kanye West for world peace, X bitch. BDSM switch, Kanye X bitch. Some BDSM switch for world peace, bitch. I got your millions. Athletes, you got 7 houses, multi-millionaire athletes and artists, multi-millionaire CEOs, you got 7 houses, 7 cars. My brothers and sisters, you got 7 houses, 7 cars, you don't need an 8th. Give finance, food security. Food security, food security. Sometimes what a person would only need a little boost, a little check, a 100,000, 50,000, whatever, to get him back on his feet again, started. With all the issues and the lust and the vice that I have, and I do have them, I admit, I get moody, get upset, do workout, train. I channel and sublimate, that's my philosophy, coupled with the body is a temple for pleasure and purpose, love is action is also my philosophy, embodied in the philosophical mottos thereof. But ain't no way that I would have been that selfish if I would have been millionaire not to finance food security. We can do better. I can do better. I'm doing every day. Sometimes it just takes doing. Because I've been in organizations and blah blah blah. Well, questions and no answers, or too much verbosity, intellectual, cosmopolitan, obscures, doesn't muddles even muddles. It has been in the past since the great financial crisis, a tendency in the collective North American civilization and the Western world to sort of go to the extremes. Right? I'm neither a communist, I'm neither a fascist. I'm not a fascist, not a communist. I'm neither a communist nor a fascist. I'm a universal revolutionary centrist. I do believe that we need these institutions, new institutions, start universal revolutionary centrism, private-public partnerships, creative ideas, to take also action for our own healing. Trinity of Theories, citizen integration theory, debt refusion theory, democratic fusion theory, implemented to create the two complementary and covenant and cooperative institutions. Officially, International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragan Army. Colloquially known as the Dragon Army, whose motto is "Nobody is born a dragon, not even myself, with a surname Dragon." Haven't I grew up pretty much on my own for many years. I don't remember much about biological father. Surname took blood, sweat, and tears, and tens of thousands of push-ups, tens of thousands of hops, tens of thousands of squats, push-ups, hops by the tens of thousands and millions of marching steps. And even now, my A in the surname is being turned into an O. Nobody's born a dragon. You can be a citizen, ally, supporter, sympathizer, subject. To be eligible for the Dragon Army, you got to be able to make the workout. The General War Integrated Full Body Training System, aka the Dragon Army workout. If you can make it within the rules, you're eligible. You got to record it, you're doing it, and you got to post it. It's dragon, dragon, dragon. Can you do the workout? Can the multi-millionaire athletes do the workout? Simple rules: 93 minutes to do 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 hawks, 13 reps maximum per set, minimum 3. You gotta march, jog, or run, or walk fast pace, a minimum of 31 seconds in between. Once you start the 93-minute countdown, there's no pause. So within those rules, there's a multiplicity myriad way of doing my workout. I average about an hour to complete it. Sometimes 70 minutes. Last time even 77 minutes. But it's average about an hour it takes, with a minimum 31 seconds marching. You got 93 minutes to do 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 hawks, maximum 13 repetitions per set, minimum 3 anywhere in between, 6, 7, 8, whatever the number is, or 31 seconds in between reps. You gotta march or run or jog or walk fast pace, 31 seconds minimum. So within that, it's now regimented. You can do a myriad of combinations, possible combination, myriads of them. I don't know mathematically how many, but I think it could actually be in the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, perhaps even millions of different combinations. If you only change one each time, you do one time 9, the other time you do 8, the other one you do 7. So there's so many ways you can do the workout. But you gotta do 100 for the Trinity, push-ups, hawk squats. So the motto of the Dragon Army is nobody's born a dragon. I completed my 200, I think 269th or 270th or 268, something like that. More than 265 sessions of the workout since October 2019 when I've started it. And it was created to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario, based on my analysis as a geopolitical analyst and theorist who, of course, had come to the conclusion that we humanity are again on a path towards another international conflagration, and so created the General War Integrated Body Training System, aka the Dragon Army workout, to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario. That's what I've created, based on my own as an independent fitness captain, and in parallel to being a geopolitical analyst and theorist. Created a workout which is perfection for COVID. It's perfection. It's perfection for COVID. The workout. Perfection for COVID. Perfect. For COVID times. And that's what I'm advocating for. Some of the solution, just like in my scenario, the creation of this new institution, officially titled International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragon Army, to be for security and service, not just for not just for security, but to be integrated in from all existing public and private security forces and armed forces and organizations. Let me pause. We're back. That was a little bit of my anonymous sister, my anonymous sister, my anonymous sister. Go get some laundry. So analyzing the situation today, the geopolitical situation of today, could of course see that it resembles in many ways my scenario. My scenario, I was surprised that it resembled the COVID, and it started before COVID. First session that I've performed was October 17, 2019. First session, I've performed more than 265 up to the day of my scenario. My workouts, sessions, more than 265 sessions of the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, which was created to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario which resembles the COVID-19 health and financial crises. World peace. Now my Trinity on COVID, I am triple vaccinated right here. I had COVID 3 times. 2 weeks ago, just came out of quarantine, self-isolation. The first time was the more hardcore. It was like death, pestilence, and disease. I thought I was gonna die. In many ways, I did die during COVID. Being Adrian H. died during COVID and being reborn Adrian Hana, Dragan, androgynous pansexual founder of the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom. I am, of course, androgynous pansexual founder of the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, the Phoenix People's Party, and the Global Dragon Union. So back in 2019, created the workout training program designed to go hand in hand with the World War III scenario, which in a nearly paradoxical providential way resembles the COVID-19 health and financial crises. And even furthermore, the situation today with the Russia-Ukraine. If you want an in-depth geopolitical analysis based on Putin's interviews, modern day in Russia, geopolitics, and past with the Soviet Union, and Alexander Dugin, analysis by yours truly, geopolitical analyst and theorist and philosopher Adrian Hannah Dragan. Feel free to commission, sponsor, finance a work. Or this past days, the past week with the crisis in the China-Taiwan question and the crisis of China-Taiwan. Taiwan officially is called the ROC, Republic of China. That's the official name of Taiwan, right? The island. Controversial into the Chinese Civil War and the coming to power in mainland China of Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong's leading the Communist Party to victory over China, communist, Marxist, Leninist. China, Xi Jinping still, I listened to his speech, and Xi Jinping still refers to Marxist Leninism as the development of and communism, socialism with Chinese characteristics, what they call socialism with Chinese characteristics, socialism with Chinese characteristics. Xi Jinping's speeches always mention Karl Marx and Marxist Leninism as being as part of Mao Zedong's thought and red book, whatever. If you want an in-depth geopolitical analysis and discussion, and we have to also be aware that, and I have to be aware of my own prejudices as a North American, right? Although many past lives, many incarnations, but my own universal revolutionary centrism, and how they also have their, because China is a civilization, it's Sino civilization, right? So if you want to commission, sponsor discussion, in-depth analysis, because now with the past week there's even more crises due to the ongoing China-Taiwan, and Taiwan is officially called the ROC, Republic of China, while China is called the People's Republic of China, PRC. People's Republic of China is Xi Jinping's China, socialist, communist China. Taiwan, the ROC, still both have the name China. Republic of China, People's Republic of China. Officially, China's
Mainland China is called People's Republic of China, where Taiwan is called the ROC Republic of China. But it dates to that era, the 40s, when Mao Zedong, of course, established the People's Republic of China. So if you want an in-depth analysis of that, feel free. Now, my scenario resembles COVID, and furthermore, the situation now. We have the biggest war in Europe since the Second World War. We have the biggest war in Europe since the Second World War. We have the biggest war in Europe since the Second World War. Now, myself as a geopolitical analyst and theorist, and living in this big metropolis of Hawk Island, Montreal, which has been my home for many years. Hawk Island, Montreal, the big metropolis in North America. And have lived here before in past lives, but as a geopolitical analyst and theorist, and Dragan Zero, general founding captain of the Dragan Army. Right? Can only see who shall be more close to the ground, what's happening on the ground in Ukraine, Russia. I am calling for a ceasefire. I'm calling for a ceasefire. I'm calling for a ceasefire. Dragon Zero is willing to meet with Putin and Zelensky on Snake Island. Have some quas. Either quas from Ukraine and halva from Russia, or vice versa. Halva from Ukraine and kvass from Russia. Kvass, Kvas, is a drink which is very popular in Ukraine and Russia, and was, and still is, very popular in the Soviet Union. It's a more natural type of soft drink. Kvass, Kvas spelled kvass. So vice versa, because I do drink kvass from Ukraine and eat halva from Ukraine, made from sunflower. Have live stream me Putin Zelensky ceasefire, Dragon Zero, Putin Zelensky accord, as I am calling the leaders of the free world to come meet me in Hawk Island, Montreal, at the corner of Sherbrooke and University, corner of University and Sherbrooke, to march around Mount Royal, Hawk Island in steel toe boots for a few hours. Yours truly, Dragon Zero, marched more than the generals of the NATO combined during COVID. To march, steel toe boots, roundabout Mount Royal, from the corner of Sherbrooke and University, to march roundabout Mount Royal. For world peace and the discussion, live streaming of my Trinity of Theories known as Citizen Integration Theory, Debt Fusion Theory, and Democratic Fusion Theory, that Trinity of Theories. Citizen Integration Theory, Debt Fusion Theory, and Democratic Fusion Theory. Citizen Integration Theory, Debt Fusion Theory, and Democratic Fusion Theory. That Trinity of Theories. Plus, with a fourth dimension to that Trinity of Theories, love. Love is action. Calling the leaders of the free world, NATO. General Secretary along with Trudeau, Biden, and because of Germany and NATO member countries. Come meet me in Hawk Island, Montreal. I'm going to march around about in steel toe boots and live stream the event. Dragon Zero, the World Peace Summit. Dragon Zero World Peace Summit. Dragon Zero World Peace Summit. That I'm calling for on my other projects. So analyzing the situation today even furthermore resembles my scenario. Even COVID did, but COVID, my trinity on COVID, brothers and sisters, has been, is, and will be this. Now, I am triple vaccinated. Please vaccinate. Increasing hygiene. Triple vaccinated. Open for business. Mainly the business of world peace. Sure, I want a piece of pie, but I don't want to eat the whole pie. I want to share. I want to share with my sister. I want to share with a good friend, a library friend. I want to share with all willingly loving allies and armies. All willingly loving allies and armies. All willingly loving allies and armies. Pledge your allegiance, legions. Pledge your allegiance, legions. Pledge your allegiance, legions. Do a little bit of rap dance, workout, train, exercise, and implement my theories with it. So it resembles the COVID-19 health and financial crises. And since it resembles it, that's what I began advocating for. And my trinity on COVID is this: has been, is, and will be this. First and foremost, do not know for sure what caused COVID. Don't know for sure. Second, I believe it was snakes. I love snakes. Please don't demonize snakes. I don't know why. Snakes and spiders, and I love them. Spiders and snakes and hawks, even some bugs, creatures. I understand subconscious forces. We fear things, hidden fears, hidden lusts. I know. My real philosophical joke goes that 6'6", 360 pounds, O-liner from the NFL responds to my call, say, Dragons, I'm gonna come to your room office and then we're gonna have a cup of coffee and I'm gonna give a few dollars to your Dragan Armies mission. And he comes, he goes on the ground, starts screaming in my room office. And, what are you screaming for? Spider, spider, spider. He's afraid of a tiny spider. He's 6'6", 360, and he's afraid of a tiny spider. 6'6", 360, and he's afraid of a tiny spider. 6'6", 360 degrees, 360 pounds, big, tough guy. 6'6", 360 pounds. He starts screaming in my room because of a tiny spider. Since my room, office, and temple, it's a safe space for spiders, he starts screaming. Right? He starts screaming. Ah, ah. What are you screaming for? He runs to the door. Spider, spider, spider. I said, you're 6'6", 360. You survived 3 concussions during your bout in the NFL. You're afraid of a tiny spider. How irrational is that? I said, you're 6'6", 360 pounds. You survived 3 concussions during your 13 years in the NFL, and you're afraid of a tiny spider. I said, you're 6'6", 360 pounds, 13 years in the NFL, survived 3 concussions. You're afraid of a tiny spider because we have this irrational subconscious forces which move us, fears, and right. It's not everything logic and emotions, right? Seemingly, the invasion of Ukraine is not a logical thing, right? What the Russians call a special military operation, right? Which is the biggest war since the Second World War. I am here in Hakka, Montreal, calling for a ceasefire, but I also know that we have these things, and I also know that as a geopolitical analyst in theories and an analyst of psychological forces, of analysis and my own psychological tendencies of humanity, and have experienced the more darker negative aspects of self, and sometimes I do experience them. Not, I'm no longer depressed or suicidal, but thank God is God, and thank the action of my own will to take action, to blood, sweat, and tears, to get out of it, to keep doing, right? But recognizing that we have this part of our natures and psychological dispositions which can sometimes have aggression, we need to channel and sublimate our sexual forces, right? The sexual energy, sexual impulses. If we don't satisfy sexuality, which is can be holy, sacred, and divine, we gotta channel it and sublimate and channel it. Sometimes it's irrational lusts that doesn't make practical, logical sense to wanna do that sexually. Right? Want to do that sexually. But there's an impulse for it. There's an energy, a force for it. It's fulfilled with consent, mutual understanding, and hygiene, and harm none principle, just like the Dragan Army will offer services after securing food, housing, and transport, right? But it has to be channeled and sublimated, just like aggression. I admit I have aggression within myself. Channel it, channel, sublimate. Push-ups, hawks, push-ups, squats, march, run, jog. Do my general war integrated whole body training system. I do workouts, I train. Already feel much better now. I came from to philosophize, to meditate, to drink my coffee in the sun. I got some sun. I already feel much better because I wasn't feeling 100%. I said, the Sabbath is ending, and yeah, I did this, I did that, and I didn't get the $1 donation. Pissed off. set, can keep doing, writing, try to publish my children's books, try to publish my children's books, try to publish my children's books, and keep doing it. I wish I would be would have my debt at least paid off. The $10,000 though probably relieve my stress a bit. $10,000 probably relieve my stress a bit. Paying the $10,000 debt probably relieve my stress. And they keep on asking me for the $2,200 back. The government of Quebec is. I offered to trade kisses and hugs, and we'll see how that goes. But because how far from being a trust fund kid, hedge fund kid, born with a silver spoon, I'm not. I grew up on my own for many, 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 many years. Acquired a doctorate, both one foot on the streets, the other foot in the libraries, with one foot on the streets, the other foot in the libraries, with one foot on the streets, the other foot on the libraries. Acquired a doctorate. I'm learning every day. People's doctorate, people's doctorate. Prescription, push-ups, hawk squats, hygiene, baths, massages, as the Dragan prescription for my allies and armies. Push-ups, hawk squats, jogs, sun, screen, bathe, hygiene, and kisses and massages. That's our main for a sublimating challenge. People's doctor, massages, washes. I wash you, you wash me, we wash, massage, we be a dancing goddess, dragon army, the dancing goddess army to be an all cooking, all doing, all servicing, all kissing, all washing, all cleaning, all cooking, all doing, XYZ, integrated, complementary, covenant, and cooperative institutions. Dancing goddess with the dragon army with the dancing goddess army. Motto of the dragon army is nobody's born a dragon, not even myself, with a surname dragon. I barely remember, don't remember my biological father, don't remember my biological father. Biological father. I grew up alone. Got a sister, so many, many years. Anybody willingly living to be my allies and armies, you're my family. Anybody willingly living to be my allies and armies, you're my family. Anybody willingly living to be my allies and armies, you're my family. So seeing the situation today, it even resembles furthermore my scenario began in 2019. On COVID again, my Trinity of Theories on COVID has beenism will be this. First and foremost, do not know what caused COVID. Second, I believe COVID was transmitted from snakes to human beings. Third, I cannot rule out another possibility. XYZ. Accident in a lab, man-made virus, whatever the case may be. First and foremost, I don't know. Second, I believe it was snakes. Third, I cannot rule out another possibility. XYZ, whatever the possibility is. So many possibilities. So that's my Trinity on COVID. Has been, is, and will be my Trinity. First and foremost, brothers and sisters, I do not know for sure what caused COVID. Second, I do believe COVID-19 was created, a virus transmitted from snakes to human beings. What's called zoonotic transmission from an animal to human being. Some say bats, some say snakes, others say fish, others say pork, others say birds. I believe snakes, but I don't know for sure. So if I don't know for sure, I cannot rule out another possibility. That's my Trinity on COVID. Fourth dimension to that Trinity is what I do know 100% without any doubt, an inch without whatsoever, is that before COVID, about 93 days or so before COVID, October 2019, I had created, made and designed the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the Dragon Army workout, to go hand in hand with the World War III scenario, which in an eerie providential parallel way resembles the COVID-19 health and financial crisis, and it resembles it. And since it resembles it, that's what I began advocating for, the implementation of my solutions, such as in my scenario, creating the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions, the Dragon Army, officially International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragon Army, with the International Integrated Dancing, aka the Dancing Goddess Army, in parallel with calling all to the Global Dragon Union, the 21st Century Global International Workers Alliance, the Phoenix People's Party, anti-war, anti-poverty, anti-race. To that triple anti, being pro-love, love is action, mass finance, working out, training, exercising, secure food, housing, and transport. Implement my Trinity of Theories: citizen integration theory, debt refusion theory, democratic fusion theory. Implement citizen integration theory, basically with the Dragon Army and the Dancing Goddess Army. Citizen integration theory to integrate all citizens into the society, civilization, local, national, international. To, for example, see and go with see how compost is done, see how recycling is done, See how farming is done. Take citizens to go east, west, north, south to see how farming is done, how recycling is done, how the dams operate and work, XYZ, to see how citizen integration theory. Fight alienation, fight alienation, fight alienation, fight alienation, fight alienation, fight alienation. Because we have since 1984 growing specialization, 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 which is good and good. But my theory, citizen integration theory, counterbalances and balances those specialization, specialization, specialization here in the collective North American civilization, first and foremost in the North American civilizational collective. And then citizen integration theory that applied. Debt refusion theory basically means and put into practice implementing, because that's what I'm calling for, implementing the debt refusion theory, taking all debt, my debt, private debt. If private debt is represented by X and I'm X1 and you're X2 and we are X3, and there's hundreds of thousands, millions, hundreds of millions of X's here in the collective North American civilization and beyond, Germany, Israel, and free world NATO. Taking all private and public debt, whatever the number is, if X is represented the private debt, I'm X1, you're X2, and there's additioning, putting together, calculating the total of X's, which represents me as X1, you as X2, and the X3 and X until the hundreds of thousands of millions of X's. So those X's that represents the private debt, total private debt, put together. If Y, the letter Y, X and Y, X would represent the private debt as private citizens, and Y would represent the public debt of Canada, Hawk Island, Montreal, the metropolis, Canada, US, Mexico, Germany, Israel, and so on, and collective North American civilization and beyond, willingly living allies, and one with public debt of the countries, nation states, taking all that number, all the private and the public debt, create, refuse it, peg it, because we have different currencies, the United States dollar, the euro, the shekel, Mexican pesos, pegging it to the US dollar and to that, all that number, to all the debt, public and private, the number in US dollar, crediting the initial crediting of the global universal bank, central bank, whatever that number is, all the debt, of all the debt, all the private and public debt, whatever that number is, pegged in US dollars, with that number, pegging it to the concordance of a US dollar, create the new global currency, the UE, the UE stands for Universal Exchange Unit, colloquially to be known as the UEU, Universal, the U, dot, E, Exchange, U, Unit, Universal Exchange Unit, so UE, known as the UE, preferably by biometrics, the hand, the voice, and the eye being unique biometric identifiers, creating the two complementary covenant institutions with the Dragan army securing for all citizens, allies, supporters, subjects, the three essential elements of civilization: food, housing, and transport. So those three are secured. Encourage people to volunteer, XYZ, and go to work with Global Dragon Union, and secure a public-private partnership, and hopefully not just maintain but upgrade civilization to attain harmony between civilization and nature, and to work towards the stars. Secure this collective North American civilization. Secure this collective North American civilization. Secure this collective North American civilization as we hopefully will move towards beautiful blue sky, beautiful blue sky, beautiful blue sky. Hopefully as we rocket up, move towards more satellites, space stations, and colonize outer space. Second phase of our civilization, and work towards world peace, international justice, secured and ensure global freedom, and ensuring and secure global freedom. And to that trinity, world peace, international justice, global freedom, fourth dimension to that trinity of peace, justice, freedom, attaining harmony between civilization and nature. Attaining harmony between civilization and nature. But the Dancing Goddess Army, officially international integrated dancing. That's what I'm advocating, calling for. That's what I'm about, Adrian Dragon. Plus all the workouts, all the hard rap that I do in parallel to that, supporting that. Spending all be willingly loving, that's what I'm calling for, support. In any way you can, type online or donate or set up. That's what Dragon Army Dragan Zero, your story General Founding Captain Dragan Zero, Priestess HANH Androgynous Pansexual Adrian Hana Dragon Adrian died during COVID, being reborn Adrian Hana Dragon, Androgynous Pansexual founder of the Dancing Goddess of the Dragon Kingdom. So I'm calling for, advocating for implementation of my Trinity of Theories, citizen integration theory, Detroit fusion theory, democratic fusion theory to be put into practice. Local, national, international created two complementary and covenant and cooperative institutions. The International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragon Army, with the International Integrated Dancing aka the Dancing Goddess Army, got the collective North American civilization and North American collective civilization, and of course Phoenix People's Party, the anti-war, anti-poverty, anti-racism, pro-love party with the Global Dragon Union, 21st Century International Workers Alliance, and Secure Food, Housing, and Transport create the UE, and work towards service and security and service with the Dragon Army. All services to be offered by the Dragon Army with simple principle, consent and hygiene, mutual understanding and love, and principle that harm none. All services, cooking, cleaning, helping with the children, taking them out to run, wash, a massage, whatever, with consent and hygiene, mutual understanding and love, and principle that harm none. All services to be offered: cooking, cleaning, washing, reading to children, helping to get the children to work out, train, exercise, or washing, kissing, massaging, cooking, cleaning, painting, with consent and hygiene, mutual understanding and love, and the principle that harm none. All services to be offered by the Dragon Army with consent without abuse. Of course, don't abuse my drug. Don't ask for 2 massages a day. I didn't get one. So it's been years. So, but with consent and hygiene, mutual understanding and love. All services to be offered by the Dragon Army: massages, kisses, washes, cleaning, cooking, helping with the children, baking, whatever, painting. All services with consent and hygiene, mutual understanding and love, and the principle that harm none. All services to be offered by the Dragon Army to all citizens, allies, supporters, sympathizers thereof. That's all I'm advocating, calling for. It was later on a Dragon Adrian Age Dragon. So it's been a coffee, post Sabbath coffee special. Go eat something and shower. Big cleaning day tomorrow, big cleaning, purifying my room off and then tomorrow, big cleaning day tomorrow. First, already gotta pay rent, gotta pay electricity bills coming in. I am financially stressed, broke, but my work is gold, broke, but my work is gold, broke, but my work is gold. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, farmers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, truckers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, bakers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, butchers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, doctors. Thank you, love you, kiss you, nurses. Thank you, love you, kiss you, those wearing steel toe boots in warehouses, loading and unloading trucks. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, those train conductors. Thank you, love you, kiss you, pilots of cargo planes, passenger planes. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, workers in sanitation of the city. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, cleaning workers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, grocery store clerks. Thank you, love you, kiss you, those working in security. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, construction workers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, butchers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, bakers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, all cooks. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, all cooks. Thank you, love you, kiss you, all hooks. Yours truly, independent philosopher, artist, athlete, universal spiritual teaching student, and geopolitical analyst and theorist. Oh, love you, love you. Make love tonight is the main message. Make love tonight is the main message. Make love tonight is the main message.